That's pretty much it. So we'll create a project. Let's call it FastAPI dot, and let's open it in code. Cool. So the idea is, I got this request on Slack. We have already a tutorial for Flask. Yeah, Flask here. So what the project does, yeah, it's a simple CRUD. We can quickly replicate it. So I could rewrite this for FastAPI. This could be like a good kind of starting point for many FastAPI developers. Yeah, and then maybe we can enhance it in a bit. So let's see how you do this. Cool. So to start a FastAPI project that will kind of work seamlessly with Deta, the first thing you need to do is create a main.py file. So we can create one. Another thing we need is requirements.txt to tell Deta to install it. So if we create both of these, and I don't think I'm gonna run the project even locally. I'm always gonna run it on Deta. So we're gonna deploy instantly. So yeah, that's the main.py where we're gonna put our code, and this is where we put. We just type FastAPI. We save it. FastAPI. We save it. And here we can copy the FastAPI. Start our code, which is this. I don't need the whole thing. Just need these. Let's save and let's deploy it. Deta new, when you want to deploy a new project, you need to run Deta new. I don't know if deploy works for the first time. No. We need to run Deta new first. Oh. To relog in. Because I did not use this laptop for very long. Sign in. I will sign in. I had the screen. I don't want want to mess something up. Then lose access. So now we're authenticated. I can run Deta new again, and we should deploy. Cool. So we're up. This is the endpoint. If you open it in the browser, it might open Chrome, so I'm gonna paste it in. I'm gonna paste it. Here. Cool. So we got Hello World. So we deployed. One thing I want to do is use the visor to be able to send. So I will use it as a REST client. So if you go to web.deta, or actually you can just type Deta, nope, Deta, visor, open. Again, we open in Chrome for some reason. FastAPI and visor. And then we can see here that we see the request. We can replay it. Replay it. And for example, if I add something here and I do Deta deploy and replay the request, I would get the new response. Another cool thing is I don't have to always type Deta deploy. I can just do Deta watch one time and it will auto deploy for me. It will auto deploy. You just check if the sound is. Test. Okay. So if I type hello there and save and rerun this request, maybe another time, it was hello there. Cool. So welcome everybody joining. So yeah, now we have the simple FastAPI up and running on Deta. We're auto deploying using Deta Watch, and we're debugging here. What I'm trying to do is just port this tutorial to FastAPI just to give you, give FastAPI users, developers, a quicker introduction into micros and base. So now that we have it deployed, we could. So what does it do? Create users. So we need an endpoint called users, and then so a post request, and it will accept name, age, and hometown. So let's create a route. Post users and def create user. So we need to use Pydantic. Let's see how you do it here. Okay. So let's define the user model. So class user is model, and it has let's see, it has a name string, age integer, and hometown string. So name str, age, and then hometown, which is a string. Have a small typo here. So this route takes a user. All these are mandatory, and for simplicity's sake, we can just return what we send. I guess .json is the way we do it. Actually, we don't need to. I know, I think we do need to. Let's see if it works or not. So if we go to the visor, so let's send, did I forget anything? No, let's send a post request to /users. So we can click here, select post request users, and then here we can define, give these parameters. So name is Joe, age is 22, and then hometown is Berlin. Let's send it. Cool. So we got JSON back as a string, but we want the actual JSON, but I don't know how to do it. So I just removed the .json method. Oh, nice. So FastAPI auto converts the model instance into JSON. So essentially right now we're getting what we sent. But just look at the amount of code we wrote. It's really not that much. And we got an API, and I think we have API documentations now. So if we do, I think it's /docs. Yeah, we can see we have API docs here, and actually we can play with our API right here. Try it out. Okay. But I think I like Visor because it lets me quickly replay APIs. So now let's store it in the database. How do you store stuff in the database? What you have to do is you need to import it. You need to import base from Deta. So from Deta, import Deta, the class, and then we are gonna instantiate the class like this. So this, if you run this outside of micros, so now we're running it in a micro, but if you run it outside of micro, you need to provide a project key. And we have guides on how to like get the project key and how to set it. But here I don't need a project key because it's running inside a micro. And to use base, to create a base, I just need to do this data.base and then give the database or the base a name. This is like a table. Essentially, you give it a table name. So in this case, I'm just gonna call it FastAPI CRUD. And then here, the only thing we need to do is, so the database instance name is called, it's DB. We can actually call it users. Let's call it users, and then we can say users dot put. I don't know if we can just pass user itself. I guess we have to convert it to dict because we don't understand identic models yet. So just user to dict. I think it's gonna solve, get the JSON and store it in the database. So now after we save the user, we can let's see what's in the database. So to do that, I need to do users.fetch, which will get everything in the database, but because it's a generator, we need to wrap it with the next function call to unwrap it. So now when we resend this request, it should save this entry in the database, and then it should return the whole database to us. So let's do it. Okay, so we send it, we stored it, and this is what's coming back from the database. And as you can see here, we got a key for free. So every time we send these 3 pieces of data to the database, it auto generates a key, so I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, and now I have 2 items in the database, but let's add another person. So I clicked on the edit button, so it cloned this request, and now I can just modify it slightly. And then I can send it. Yeah, and now we have a database with 2 people, 3 entries, 2 people. Let's add another one. Cool. Now we have 3 people. What else? It's very simple. So we just imported data from the library, which is auto installed, so you don't have to install it. Again, if you run if your app runs on a micro, You don't need to install Deta, it's pre-installed. And then we instantiated Deta. This takes an optional project key, but again, because we run on micros, we don't need this project key. And then we instantiated a table, a base table. So I can create many of these. So just like give it, you know, 2, and then call this, you know, notes, whatever. So I can like quickly create as many tables as I want. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And so one thing I'm gonna do here, I'm not gonna return the whole database. I'm gonna return the user. I think we get it here, so we get it back. So when we put an item in the database, we get it back, including the key. So let's see if this worked. Sorry, so user. Let's see if this works. So this request is sending this entry, so max 44 Madrid. If I replay it, exactly, yeah. So it got me back the user from the actual database. So it did put, and then it did get, I believe, or maybe it just like got back so put returns the user, the object. And then one thing we could do is, because this is you know, it's a post request and we're saving something in the database, I could return a status code 201 that, you know, item was created. I don't remember exactly how to do it, so I'm gonna quickly check the docs. Maybe I just need to Google. Request body. So maybe here. Response. I think just here I just provide status code equals 201. I'm not sure. Let's give it a try. So if I go here and resend, you know, the same thing. Yeah, so amazing. Okay, so yeah, I can send 201 if the kind of the write to the database was successful. It's gonna return the object from the database and 201. Cool. So what's next? Well, I guess we want to get one user from the database. That's next. So, or no. So let's do listing. So get all the users from the database, which is essentially the same thing as this one, but so we do a get, we return 200, and we don't have any payload. And so to get all the users, we can do users.fetch and then wrap this in a next and see if this gives us the right. So now, because we don't have, I mean, if we're expecting the database to be larger, we could work with pagination, but I'm gonna keep it simple for now without pagination. But the database our database supports pagination. So if you go to our docs, so base SDK fetch. So here, not JavaScript. Where am I? So Python. Oh man, still old docs. we're gonna fix them. So pagination, so you can provide something called buffer and something called pages. So buffer is how many items per page, and the number of pages
comes to a close. That brings us to the end of the episode. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you
so maybe I can explain it in a different tutorial, but you can do pagination with database. For now, we're skipping it because we want just simplicity, because it's a entry level tutorial. Return US, and let's see what we get. So if we go here and then create a new request, this is gonna be get users send. Okay, cool. So we got all the users. As simple as that. And again, if you refresh, thanks to FastAPI. Oh, so we need to change this. List users, and let's refresh. Yeah, users. So this is root, less users, create users, with only less than 30 lines of code. And this is public. This API, I mean, you can access it too if you want to. It's not protected. There are different ways to protect it. Maybe you can talk about them later. But for now, it's public. Cool. So let's do the get one user endpoint. So get user. How do you do it? How do you do routing in FastAPI? So create user. I just want to see. Oh, okay. So users slash user ID. Then I guess I can just type it here. Yeah, user. Well, let's just call it UID because of my short names. UID to be a string, UID. And this again is very simple. So user equals users, which is the instance of our database .get, and then you just provide the UID. And in the database, the UID is the key. So we'll test it in a bit. So if we do user, save again, and now it's ready to use. Actually, let's rename this again, get user. And let's go here. And let's create get users slash for now let's give it a fake ID and see what happens. So get user slash whatever null. So we did not find it in the database. So what we could do is, if user, return user, otherwise we'll handle it in a bit. So let's actually give it a key that exists. So if we scroll down, we'll probably find a key that exists. So this one, let's see if it works. So we give this key instead, and see what happens. And yeah, we got it. So this is get user slash da da da, and it got the user. So now let's handle if the key doesn't exist like this. I want to get 404. How to return 404? An optional 404. Let's take a look. Let's search for status. Ooh. Yeah, response status code. So this is how you always send it. C section. Code. So there's like a simple way of doing it. I guess I'm gonna do it the way I think it works. Yeah, this is just explaining how to kind of get status codes. So I guess from FastAPI here, from FastAPI, what was that? From FastAPI dot responses import. I guess it's this JSON responses. Response model. I don't know. Let's guess for now. So JSON. I think it's JSON response, and then not called. And then we can do. Actually, let's see here. Okay. So if not user, we say response equals JSON response, and then the message, the content will be message user not found, and then so this might not work. It's just me guessing. Status code equals 404. Let's see if it works. So again, we're auto deploying, and then I can just rerun this log here. So we're getting 200. Then we didn't deploy. Get users. Well, I did not return it. So return. Hey, Funky Duck. What's up? Oh, nice. So guesswork. I guess when you design your framework to be intuitive, guesswork also works. So I just guessed that this is how you do it, and maybe I used it before. I don't remember. But yeah, so message user not found. But if we go back to the one that exists, and then rerun it, we get it 200. Cool. So what's next? What's next? I lost. So yeah, so this code is much neater than the Flask code, which is okay. Reading records, we did that. Updating records, let's do that. Okay, so what if you want to change the name or like the hometown of a specific user? So that's the idea. So just copy this one. This actually we might need this code again. But let's remove this. And this will be updates. And I guess so there are two ways of updating a user. There are two ways of updating a database entry or record using base. One is you replace the whole object, and the other one is to update it. And replacing the object is faster, but I think replacing the object is faster, but updating it, I think it's more useful. So let's do it, and then you could then change the method. So here we're using put because we're actually replacing. So db.put, if you give it the item with an existing key, it will replace the old item. But right now, what I want to do is I want you to be able to update the item in place without replacing it, which is a bit slower because I think it does a get and then a put, so it costs twice as much. But it's plenty fast, so you don't have to worry. And then I'm gonna use patch as my method. So here, app.patch instead of put, update user, and let's do it. So first, let's see. I don't know how we handle. How users dot update handles non-existing users or non-existing items. So let's check out our docs here and then update. So the updates and then the key, these are the two arguments you need to provide. Or should we? Should we do put? And we do like provide a couple utility methods that you could do a lot of interesting things with the update method. So it's not as simple as just changing. You can use append to a specific array. You could use increment, decrement to change numbers, modify numbers. You could remove a specific entry in an object or item in an object. So I'm thinking let's do put for now. Nah, let's keep it update. So update. So this will also accept other, in addition to the UID, it will accept an input schema. And in this case, we're gonna use this one, which means we have to provide everything. And if you don't want to do it, you could, well, maybe let's create this one, user update, and then everything is optional. Let's see if this works. So it will take up, well, user update, and let's call it, well, just call it user, no, not new user, just user update for now. User update, and so here we provide well, let's see it first before we do anything in the database. Let's see how it works. So return, okay, just testing, and just return. And here let's print out what we get. So print the UID we're getting, and then uu.dict. So you want to see these two things. And again, it's patch/user/UID. Let's give it a try. So let's create a new request. We choose patch, this stays the same, and then in the body we can say we want to change the hometown only. Hometown, here it's Madrid, we want to change it to Milan. Okay, so it's not gonna do anything now, it just it's gonna print it out. So go to the logs. Yeah, so we got the other ones are none. So we need to get rid of these ones. Otherwise it's gonna override. How do you get rid of let's see. Is it? I really forgot how to do it. Python dig filter none. Let's see. So key value for key value in e.dict items. If should work, I think. So let's return it and see. So let's send the same request where we only want to change hometown. So ideally the response is going to be equal at exactly the same as the request. Let's do it. Internal server error. Okay. And the reason is need to call it. Let's retry. Server error. V. Another typo. Refresh. Nice. So the request is the response. So if we add another one, let's say we'll change the age to 50. Send. We get the age. Cool. So this becomes our updates request, or updates query. This is the thing we will send. So to do the update, we do users.update, which is a method on the database. So the update will provide updates as the new items that needs to be changed. So this will do an update in place. It will replace the old data. And then we need to provide the key, which is in this case it's UID. So, and then let's return the new user. Return users dot get UID, and hopefully we'll see it after the update. So actually, what we could do, let's print the user before the update, and then we'll print it again after. So here we're just like getting the user before we update, and then we update it, and then we see the new user with the new data. Cool. So yeah, so this user exists. This is how we identify the user in the database. So if we actually let's get this user first. So just get, and this should give us the user. So yeah, we have this user named Max. He lives in Madrid, age 44. Cool. So now let's change this to something else. So we'll use the same key. I have it copied, and then we can modify this patch. Cool. And yeah, so we'll change it to Milan and age to 50. Let's send it. Okay, got sent. So we got the new user with, as you can see, it's the same ID, but the data is different. The age is 50, and the hometown is Milan. And if we take a look at the logs, we see the first log, logging out the old data. So yeah, it worked. So this is everything you need to do. And let's see what happens if we give a non-existing ID and see what happens. If we get an error or something, then we can handle it. So the user does not exist. Let's send the request. Okay, we got 500 server because we did not have that. So users.update raise this error. Yeah, it's just an exception, it doesn't have a name. But I guess for now it's super easy. So we can do try to do this. You know, this is kind of Pythonic way of doing it. Try, and then exception. In this case, you know, we don't have a specific exception, but I guess this is our fault. We could like improve this to make sure it's a not found exception, so it's not just a generic exception. But I mean, you know, for this tutorial, I think it just makes sense to assume this exception is because the user wasn't found. So just by doing this, you know, adding 2 lines of code, we should get the 404 and handle if the user doesn't exist. Let's retry. So 500. Did I save? Am I missing something? What? Ah. Yeah, because it's outside. Very smart. So you know the actual update inside is inside try. Cool. So now we get 404 when the user does not exist, and if the user exists, we update their data. What else we need to do? This is just the docs. Okay, creating records, reading records, updating records, deleting records. Oh, okay, deleting. So delete is essentially, let's do, just copy the same thing. The get, paste it, we change this to delete. And then we say delete user. And here we don't have, there's no way for, I mean, there is a way to find out if the user exists before you delete it, but if you do users.delete, is it delete? I think it's delete, yeah. Yeah, it's delete. It will always return null, even if the user does not exist, or if the user exists. So you're always gonna return null. If you wanna make 100% sure that the user was deleted, you could, so after you do users.delete, you can do users.get and see if the user exists or not. But you know, it's if the user exists, it's, you know, eventually it's gonna be deleted, so you don't have to worry too much. So this is kind of safe to do here, just UID and then return whatever you want. Always is gonna be the same. It's not gonna show any errors unless there are some network errors. You know, I don't know if there's any status code for deleting. I guess 202. Should a successful response should be 200. 202 accepted if the action has not yet enacted. Yeah, I guess it's, you know, 204, but it's fine. I mean, just return the empty thing. So now we can delete users. Delete user, delete, yeah. So if you go back to the visor and try to delete a user that exists, so like first let's get everybody. So get /users, send. We got all the users, so let's delete this one. We get the key, create a new request, provide the new key, and then delete. Doesn't require a body. Then let's send it. What happened? It's interesting why. Invalid JSON, yeah, because it's not. Okay, we don't really. You don't need to send the JSON, I guess, or delete. I'm not sure. But yeah, so we deleted this user. So if we do another, you know, get all users, it's not gonna exist. So it's gone. And if we do get users/id, it will give us 404 user not found. And let's actually just return empty, because, you know, we're not sending anything back. So let's do delete. Yeah, okay, no. Cool, yeah, that's a CRUD API in less than 60 lines of Python code using FastAPI database. We're encoding API docs. Here we can see how pretty these docs are. This is the root. Get all list all users, create user, get user, delete user, update user. Then there's another way of getting the docs, redoc. Nice. I hope you liked it, and if you have any other ideas for tutorials we could do, just ping me on Slack or Twitter or anything. Happy to do them. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.